So listen, this is really my first attempt at a voiceover and I'm quite scared, but obviously the video is starting, so let's get into it. In this clip, you see me marking out or attempting to mark out the measurements for the shorts portion of the romper. I followed a tutorial, which I'll link down below, which gave you everything you needed to know to kind of mark out your shorts pattern. After a while, I got really frustrated of trying to use my chalk pencil because it A, wasn't working, and B, I just was getting really impatient. So I switched to using just my simple rotary cutter, which was super brave on my end. I don't think I should have done that really. That's what I chose to do, and it ended up working out pretty well. So here I am just doing my thing, cutting my shorts, and yeah. Then I just cut it all the way up to make the romper pattern. So in this clip, I just traced out the armhole using a tank top I had in my wardrobe. And that basically completed the first side of my romper. I then just placed that first item I cut out and did it on the opposite side. So here, before I kind of unraveled everything, or not unraveled, but I pinned it all together starting with the shorts because I'd never sewn shorts and I kind of wanted to figure that out first. So after clipping everything together, I took it to my sewing machine, and here you can see obviously here's a very sped up version of sewing the middle seams together on the shorts and the romper. I just finished making my shorts, and that's pretty much what this clip is showing. I then decided to hem my shorts right off the bat because I could tell that it was way too long, and as I moved through this project, I realized that the measurements I had for my shorts were basically way too big. But here you can see I'm just hemming the other side of my shorts, and every time I did a seam, I also did a zigzag stitch to finish it. Okay, this clip basically shows how I've miscalculated somehow the shorts pattern because this thing is literally huge. So I basically had to take it back to the cutting board to take it in. So here you see me, different day, different outfit. I am kind of taking everything in a bit. I shortened the length of the romper, and then I also took my tank top again and decided to just completely take it in at the top. I was really scared to do this because I was like, once you cut it off, it's cut. So yeah, and this isn't the first time I do this. So then I flipped it inside out and pinned together the sides that I had cut. I took it to my sewing machine and then sewed those bad boys together. And of course, I'm zigzag stitching these edges because as the tapestry is super, super frayable, I guess that's definitely not a word, but I had to do that. And then here I'm just hemming the top and the back to make sure that it is clean, and I zigzag stitch that as well. Okay, and then tragedy struck, my last needle broke, and as we're in quarantine, I had to wait a day to get more needles. But here's a fun progress pic. I didn't realize at the time that it was so big and I really needed it to be taken in a bit more, so I eventually decided to do that again. Yeah, so my needle broke. It was my last one, which is really upsetting. So I took this as an opportunity, and I am hiking, having a grand old time, wearing a face mask because I love the world. And yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy some sunshine, and then hopefully Michael's will have my order ready for pickup when I'm done. So I eventually got new needles. It was super weird to go to Michael's. It was a planned exchange of goods, basically. I had to pick it up outside, whatever, it was weird. I got my needles. But here I'm basically hemming the armholes, and off camera I tried the romper on, folded it over, and I'm sewing a new hemline at the top. I basically cut off a good 5 to 6 inches and folded it down another inch. So it was really big. It was way too big. And I'm basically doing the same thing to the back here, just making sure everything's clean. I'm zigzagging all the edges, and yeah. And then here I'm zigzagging down the middle to make sure the seam, which is the longest seam of the entire thing, which goes straight up the middle and up the back, is clean. Okay, so here's the current progress. I understand it's kind of ill-fitting. And at first I was like, oh, the measurements didn't come out right, so maybe it'll just be a really super comfy romper. But I showed it to my girlfriends on a Zoom call and they were like, it needs a waist, it needs something, and I completely agree. Also, these are just temporary straps. I still need to sew straps. And also, okay, so let me just collect myself. Here's what I think needs to happen. I'm gonna take down the back and actually just trim it across here, because as it stands right now, I couldn't get in and out of it to, you know, go to the bathroom if I needed to. So I'm gonna take down the back, and instead of putting the strap through the front, I'm just going to attach two straps here and then to the lower back. And then I need to figure out how much to take it in. I'm kind of scared to take it in, to be honest, because my worst nightmare is that I take it in too much, it looks good, but when I try to sit down, it doesn't work. So a lot of things to consider, but this is the update. I am just mostly proud that it is wearable. I mean, of course not flattering, but it is wearable. So, exciting stuff. I have more work to do. Okay, please ignore the laundry in the background. But anyway, so here I am reassessing my romper, and I'm sad that it's kind of off camera. But anyway, I am basically drawing or cutting a straight line from the armhole to the hem without disrupting the hem. I kept it intact. And then I pinned that and took it to my sewing machine and basically did the same thing that I did the first time I took it in. I went ahead and did a straight seam up the side and then zigzag stitched both sides. And then also the shirt I'm wearing, I also made. I'm really excited about it. But anyway, so here I am zigzag stitching both sides. And it worked out really well. It ended up being much better fitting and was better in the end. So I also then decided that the pant legs needed to be upward facing on the sides instead of straight across my legs, because as they were just really unflattering. So off camera, I folded them up and created a hemline that started lower in the middle and higher on the outside. Also, multiple times during this project, my machine made nests in my fabric, so I had to fix, oh my god, what's the word? Oh my god, my bobbin. Okay, so here I am seam ripping some of the original hemline because it was really, really hard to sew over, and I wanted to cut off some of the extra seam allowance. Riveting stuff, I know. And then after I took the seam out, I just cut both excess hems. Here I am just fixing my machine and then finishing the last touches on the hem. As you can see here, I had some lovely nest situation going on. So I had to fix that, and it took me a couple attempts, and I actually had to pull over a scrap piece of yarn. I don't know why I left this in the video because it was really just so frustrating, but it does happen to me while I sew. So after everything was fixed, I fixed the hem finally, and that involved just flipping it up and wearing it and seeing where the hem looked the best. And so then after I sewed it down with a straight stitch, I cut off the excess fabric. Cutting off the excess fabric just makes the hemline less bulky and more wearable, and just something that I think is important to do. And then here I'm zigzag stitching the edges. After the romper bodice was finally done, I moved on to the straps, which just involved taking some of the scrap fabric and cutting it into long inch-wide strips. So I just had a really good idea. A while ago off of Amazon, I ordered some of these like metal rings. I thought maybe I'd make a purse or something, but I think I'm gonna keep the back high and then finagle these, or maybe a little bit bigger of a size loop, so it's almost like a belt closure for the strap, so I can get in and out and keep the high back and the high front. I think that's gonna work, and I'm kind of excited about it, so let's go. Okay, I'm sure it's getting to be a lot, so I'm gonna just go ahead and jump off camera and finish the romper because it's really getting close. I have sewed the little circle thing to the attachment that's going to go into the romper. That makes no sense. It'll make more sense when it's all done, but for your guys' sake, I'm hopping off. I'll finish off the camera and then show you the finished product. So I am super close, but I feel like I just made a grave mistake because I went ahead and did the multi-step process to get my loop connected to the actual romper. And then I was fidgeting with the other straps and I was like, oh wait, how does this work with the other one? I was supposed to put both of these in here. So I'm gonna come up with something else, but just thought I'd share. And here is the final product. I was able to fix the straps by just adding a double loop to the front, and it ended up working really well. So they're actually adjustable straps. The straps were a little long, so I tucked them in the back, but I'm going to maybe hem those later. But here it is. It's super loose fitting and it looks great with the belt, and I'm really proud about how it turned out. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know. Thanks.